Elevate your tennis game with the Yonex E-Zone 100. Yonex continues to improve one of its most popular and well-loved rackets, now in its 8th generation. The user-friendly E-Zone 100 offers a plush feel, excellent spin potential, and controllable power, all wrapped up in Yonex's signature isometric head shape. Some small changes were made to the frame's geometry for increased power and stability, as well as optimal bending on impact. Lastly, a new flexible material called Minilon was added to the shaft to dampen vibrations for added comfort. I have used the E-Zone 100 for the last 12 years, dating back to the AI model, and the first impression of this update is I love the cosmetic. It may be my favorite cosmetic to date, so I couldn't wait to get onto the court, and I was not disappointed. There was no adjustment period for me, and it actually plays very similar to the previous generations, and that resulted in a very controllable power from the baseline. There's plenty of access to spin, and those two things combined allowed me to play my aggressive baseline game flawlessly. And now when I approach the net, I love the feel. I think that was maybe the little bit of difference from the previous generation was I thought it was a little bit more plush, which is great. Felt like I could hit a variety of volleys. And then when it came to serves, I thought it did everything well for me. And what I really liked about it most was actually my second serve. I felt really confident hitting my second serve. It just had the perfect specs for me to get the ball or my racket up and over my head and hit my second serve confidently and deep in the service box. My favorite shot to hit with this racket was easily the return of serve. I felt it offered the perfect combination of stability, yet it was still very maneuverable, and I could be aggressive from the very first shot. Overall, this racket really shines in all areas, and I'm gonna have a hard time finding a racket that I like more.
As a former E-Zone 100 user, I was pumped to see these rackets show up in our office. And my first impression of it was that it does kind of have a throwback vibe with the paint job, but the paint job wasn't the only thing that had me feeling nostalgic. I thought the feel felt more like the DR model of a few generations ago. I just love that plushness that these rackets offer. Now on court, it felt like an E-Zone 100. It has that great combination of power, spin, control. It's also very user-friendly as well. I found I was able to just really swing out with it. And I thought that I was able to hit a more penetrating shot with this racket compared to other 300-gram rackets. So that was a real plus for me there. And up at net, I also thought it was pretty stable and I had great touch with it as well. Really no negatives for me with this racket. I just really enjoyed using it. I think if you are a former E-Zone user, you're gonna really enjoy this one, and definitely an early contender for Racket of the Year.
It was really a pleasure to test this new Yonex E-Zone 100. The first thing that stood out to me was this unique shade of blue. I never seen that on the court before. On the court, and particularly from the baseline, I could feel exactly what players expect from an E-Zone: comfort, precision, and spin potential. I had the opportunity to generate powerful shots, both with my forehand and backhand, while also being able to defend more solidly, ensuring my opponent couldn't take control of the next point. When hitting topspin or slices, I felt a great deal of comfort and excellent spin on each shot. At the net, I had the chance to vary my volleys, alternating between approach volleys and more impactful ones. This versatility once again allowed me to conclude that the racket delivers on its promise, offering both precision and comfort. The standout feature for me was the serve. As a player who used a lot of spin on both first and second serve, the E-Zone enabled me to vary my serve efficiently, producing wide slices as well as kick serve that trouble my opponent returns. On the returns, as mentioned earlier, this new E-Zone truly allowed me to counter some heavy spin, enabling me to handle my opponent's powerful first serves. Against second serve, I could immediately take control of the point with deeper, more aggressive shots. In conclusion, I believe this racket perfectly aligns with characteristics it promises on paper, and it will not disappoint. I highly recommend this racket for intermediate to advanced players looking for comfort, precision, and spin potential.
I've always been like a huge Yonex fan, and I always gravitate towards the V-Core, but I have to say with this new E-Zone and all the improvement that this frame brought up to the market, I really felt like connected to my game. This racket got a mix of features I look for in a racket and a few extras that made my game sharper and more impactful than ever. With its 318 gram strong weight and heavy balance, you can feel the power and spin it brings to the table when you strike the ball. But what really impressed me was how smooth and easy it felt to handle, especially on touch shots. The racket aerodynamic frame and Yonex signature isometric technology gave me that kind of confidence to go for pinpoint precision, and it totally delivered. Honestly, this racket for me is really game changer compared to other rackets with the same specifications.
This new Yonex E-Zone 100 was strung with the Yonex Poly-True drive at 25 kilos or 52 pounds. If you want more information about this racket or any others, please visit Tennis Wales, Tennis Wales Europe or Tennis Only. Thanks for watching.